a lot of stuff happens before chapter 9. But basically, Fox is getting out of the psych ward and finds out they have been moved to a different house. And so Dodo kicked Fox out while Fox was in the psych ward. Fox gets out and is being driven to Snake and Worm's house. Follow me on this. This is awesome. So, okay, I can turn pages and hold microphone. This is good. So, this is Dodo's mom driving Fox to Snake and Worm's house. Okay. It must feel good to be out of the hospital. You'll be fine. Sure. Things can only get better. Here we are. Following me so far?
Yep.
All right. Hi, Snake. Dodo said that I live here now. Dodo and I thought it would be best. And Cat? Your cat is in the attic with your things. Oh, I don't remember that you had a finished attic. It's not finished. We put a mattress up there for you. Oh, yeah. Cat? I missed you. There are rats. Crap. I'm really sleepy. I'll be on rat watch. I have to say, I did a reading, and my cousin that I haven't talked to in a long time, right after the reading came beelining straight up to me, and she was like, was there really rats? Yeah, so, yeah. Next day, hey Worm, you and Snake have rats. Blah, blah. You aren't really saying anything. Blah, 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 blah. You are just saying nothing louder. Blah, 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 blah. Never mind. That's the only dialogue Worm contributes in the entire book. Is blah. There's other blahs in the book, but that is the dialogue. Hello, Jellyfish Boss Lady. I can't work today. You see, I have rats. Fox, it's been days since I've heard from you. People are wondering where you are. I don't know where I am. You are late for therapy. Cat says I need therapy. Gotta go. Bye. We spoke on the phone. I'm glad you made it in. Now tell me everything. Well, I tried to kill myself. A giant hand flew me to the hospital. While I was there, I moved into a friend's attic. There are rats. I see. So now you're homeless. I'm not homeless. I live in an unfinished attic with rats. I have a number for you to call, but first you need to see a psychiatrist. I thought you were my psychiatrist. I'm your psychologist. You need to see a psychiatrist. What's the difference? A psychologist is someone you talk to. A psychiatrist prescribes medicine. So I need a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Gesundheit. Fox, come in. Okay. You need something to help you feel better. Okay. Take one at bedtime. There may be a little weight gain. Okay. It says the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Back home. Snake, I need to talk to you. I agree. It's nice of you to let me stay here, but there are rats. Sure there are. I noticed that you're going to therapy. I think it would be fun to join you next time. That sounds cool, I guess. Good, see you then. But rats. Call for housing, 555 home. Hello, my name is Fox Foxerson. My therapist told me to call this number for an apartment. What do you mean you're looking me up? What do you mean I'm on file? They have a file on me? File, on file, on file, 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 on file. What was that? Is everything okay? I don't know. If not, what will happen to me? Everything is okay. I need to see my therapist. It was for a very long time. I would ask people if anything happens to me, will you take my cat? And everyone's answer was no. Nothing can happen to you. Yeah. So, hi, I brought a friend. What? This is my pal Snake. Snake wanted to come to therapy. Well, Snake, what are you doing here? I believe the fox has schizophrenia. We don't know that. What is schizophrenia? It doesn't matter. You don't need to know because we aren't sure yet. Okay, have a good day. See ya. Wait. So, if you ever look at anything on dial-up, it's frustrating, especially when you're looking at schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, you are doomed. Hallucinations, delusions, impaired social cognition, paranoia, isolation, dirty, lazy, can't work, you smell, and your thoughts are wrong. Expert. Fuck that. My thoughts aren't wrong. Cat, do you think I'm crazy? Nope. Foxerson, fix it all, one at bed. Crap, I feel sleepy. And this panel, this next page, really happened to me. I must have fallen asleep. What happened? You slept for 2 days. Hello, jellyfish boss lady? Sorry I missed work yesterday. I would have called, but you see I was asleep. No, I can't make it in today because I'm fat. Bye. I had to call in. I can't fit into any of my work clothes, so I am wearing sweats right now and I have to go thrifting. So I did actually call in to work weight gain. It's time for you to look at the apartments. I love it. When do I move in? Cat, we are moving. No more attic and no more pills. Those things are poison. I'm never going to trust a psychiatrist. Snake, I found an apartment. I'm moving. Good. You should go on a diet. You've gained weight. Okay. Home sweet home and no rats. And that's the end of chapter 9. So, Lynn, do you want to?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Hello. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, Majors and Clint, and congratulations on your graphic novel being published by the awesome Street Noise Books.
They are awesome.
And I have notes. Let's see. From the start, when I received this book and I started reading it, I was all in right away. I felt like I cared about Fox immediately, and I think some of that is down to your choices about making this character an animal and also genderless, and therefore a creature that we can really relate to really well. We've all, I think, been in that place where we've gone into a new situation, whether it's moving to a new town or starting a new school or job or whatever it is. We've all been in that moment where we're new and we want to be liked and we want things to work out. So I was on Team Fox right away. I was rooting for Fox. So, and I just really wanted to say also that it's also the economy that you use with your line drawings and your words, and it's just no more or no less than what's necessary to tell the story and tell it well. So anyway, I wonder, because I did some library talks about graphic memoir, which I think is a close cousin to autobiographical I asked people if they were aware of graphic medicine. And I found that a lot of people really weren't, didn't really know what that was. And I didn't really know what it was until maybe a year or two ago. I became aware of it. And so I just wondered, like, when did that kind of come on your radar? The whole thing of graphic, does everybody know what that is?
Yeah.
Can you see?
Okay. Graphic medicine, there's a bunch of graphic novels out there that basically tells stories or is descriptive from a healthcare standpoint. So so a lot of graphic memoir or even nonfiction falls into that category, right? So so I guess Fox falls into that category because we're talking about mental health and we're talking about my story. And I didn't know about, I knew very little about graphic novels back when I started this project, but I learned there's a graphic novel called Draw Stronger by Creota Wilberg. I hope I'm getting her name right. Anyway, she's awesome. Deserves to have her name gotten right, but Draw Stronger is it's basically how artists don't get repetitive stress injury. I mean, she's like, it's instructional, right? And so I learned about that. I started following graphic medicine, and there's tons out there. I mean, it's really interesting. There's a lot on mental health too. Have you found? What is some examples?
Oh gosh, well, just I mean, pick any kind of pathology, any kind of healthcare issue, and there's really an explainer comic out there for it. So I'm blanking right now on an example, but it's just really just using comics to educate about healthcare and also for storytelling, which is healing. Right?
Yeah. I think when I went into it, I just I just thought I wanted to tell my stories. I've been telling my stories. I've been seeing reactions of people, me, just telling my stories to friends and family, and they always acted surprised, and I'm like, really? And except for like people that have been in the healthcare system, and they're like, oh my God, that happened to me too. And so I'm like, where are these stories, and so I just wanted to write them down and share them with people. I didn't really I didn't really think about a target audience at first. I just started writing. So I wasn't trying to fit into a graphic medicine category or anything. I just wanted to get it out into the world.
A lot of people work in memoir and autobiographical things really primarily for themselves, to sort of process things, tidy things up mentally, and sometimes get closure on situations or just parts of their life that they've survived.
Well, I've been to lots of therapy, and therapy is not fun, so art is fun. The first story that I wanted to write down wasn't for me. It was to seek revenge against the people that did me wrong. I just, I called for help. The person on the other end of the phone called 911, and I had the door kicked in and guns drawn, right? And so it went downhill from there. And I will not go into detail, but that's the reason, because I didn't want to, I started writing it and I'm like, I don't want to go into detail about this. And there was nothing funny about it. None of my goofy characters fit any of the characters in the situation. So and Ruth, my wife, gave me permission, and she said, you don't have to write this. And I'm like, I don't, and I'm like, okay. So I decided to write other stories, and it worked out better. All the stories, all the chapters in the book have some sort of comedic element to it, even if it seems like to the outside eye that it's a devastating situation. I find absurdity in our healthcare system and the way people treat folks that are honest and out about their mental health. So I just wanted to point out this absurdity, maybe get a couple LOLs out of it,
Oh, well, your humor surfaces organically throughout the text, and the, and some of it is just the most delicious dark humor too. It's just many guffaws, and that's a survival skill. Humor, right?
Yeah.
This is how we can take care of ourselves.
Well, it's really, and it's also, it's kind of a red flag. If I'm not laughing about it, it's time to kind of take notice, right? If I'm not joking, if everything is, flat and deadpan, and then it's kind of time to say what's going on. And I've learned that stuff over the years, like what is time to check in, right? And laughter is definitely a survival mechanism. And I think anybody that's had any chronic illness can relate to that, right? Because if you're dealing with suffering or pain, if you're not getting the help that you need, then you know that you gotta laugh about it or you're gonna cry. And you have to maintain hope during all of that, all of your troubles and sorrows. You gotta maintain this hope, and like, even if it's dark humor, which usually is, and that's just fine. It's one way to get through it. One way to get through it. It certainly helped me.
Were there any, like, sort of in these, in the more turbulent times, were there any, like, artists or TV shows or comics or anything that you kind of gravitated to, kind of, I don't know, just laugh or feel better, or, just kind of let things out?
Influences. Well, I like animation. I really dig the Saturday Funnies in the morning and stuff. Something, and I would, my parents were journalists. They'd sit down and read the paper from front to back, and I'd have the funny pages top to bottom. But honestly, when I started this project, I was a newbie. Like, I didn't have the reading of all that's out there, right? So my style is truly my own. I'm trying to find stuff that's similar, because what's it called when you find a book that's similar? What is it? I knew I'd get something from the back. Okay. Yeah. So I was trying to find comp titles, and I'm like, oh. So but I really, when I was a kid, I really loved stuff like Yellow Submarine and like the Schoolhouse Rock. I really dig Schoolhouse Rock, and those kind of have influence on my drawing style. but I kind of boiled it down for narrative, for like sequential work. I needed the reader to understand what was going on, and my drawings are kind of out there, so I needed to break it down and make it a little bit more readable.
Right.
Yeah.
And you had the experience of being a painter,
Right.
right? So you already kind of have kind of a visual language of your own from that. And so,
Yeah,
Imagine
I've
it
been
wasn't.
painting, since I was a child. I like did artwork, and I've kind of explained this before. Like, there's a point in your childhood where you just stop drawing and you go on with serious stuff. Well, I never stopped drawing. I never got into the serious stuff. I just kept drawing, and then learned how to paint. Mostly taught myself how to paint, and my work is very figurative. I would either work from life or take a picture and work from my photograph, but I would distort it. There's a part in the book where Fox is describing Fox's work, and it's kind of like, I want to take portraits, but not actual portraits. I want to make them my own portraits, and so like the viewer can interpret it any way, right? Cool. And I was like, yeah. So I had the visuals. I worked with composition and line, and it's just basically, that's when I look at a page, I look at composition and line, and then I omit the color. Right, I omit a lot of things. Like, I omit fingers and sometimes arms and pupils, and cell phones are rectangles, and I boil down the dialogue to just be like what is needed to get the point across. So yeah.
so we decided if we got stuck, we could refer to my Post-it note tour of the book.
You gotta show your Post-it note. You gotta hold up your Post. Look at these Post-it notes.
I don't know that we're stuck, but.
We're not stuck.
You should show a painting.
Oh yeah, we could show. Yeah, I have a couple of paintings.
I also know yours in my bedroom now.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So,
I didn't know the history of it.
oh, that's an early draft of Fox. You can go ahead and close that.
It's more complicated, right?
Yeah, there's one of my paintings. Just hit the green button and it gets bigger. Yeah, so that's a self-portrait that I did a number of years ago. That's oil, but you can kind of see the distorted lines and everything, and the emphasis on the composition, how the eye moves through the page, through the canvas, and yeah, so I use those components in my work with the graphic novel.
And the sweet pink kitty cat here.
Now I know,
This one
that was
where-
Genghis, my little peaches and cream.
Fox is cuddling with the kitty. There's only just like a little heart on my Post-it note. I'm a cat mom most of my life myself, so I really appreciated that character. So, yeah. My notes spill it over. Are there other comics creators here? Writers of?
I will say that I took one of Christi's classes,
Oh.
and so I did do just a 5-panel comic, and you made it really easy. I mean, I don't think of myself as a drawer. I do have funny stories, just because I live. But it was really helpful to be in the class and to think about how to, like when you said eliminating, I just drew myself, I had a service dog, and so it was a story of my service dog, and I just drew my glasses and my hands was all. I didn't wanna draw, spend time drawing the rest of the body or anything. But the class was really fun. And then the 5 panels, they were about this big, they sold at a show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Very I'd recommend a class with Christi.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun working with people. Everybody did absolutely opposite of the next person. Like it was this wide range, and the story was awesome. It was a dog park story, and trying to get the dog to sit, and all of the thought process the dog's going through. I don't know if I should sit.
And all the other dogs in the park sat except my dog.
Super cute. Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, and that was another thing that I should say was influences. I worked at Avivo for like over 9 years, and I worked in the art department, and all the members, artists, when they get creative, they bounce energy off of each other, and just being in a creative environment with other artists. And then I have a studio in the Solar Arts building, and there's, it's kind of a really tight-knit little artist community sort of thing. And so, you're always bouncing ideas, and some people are really good at getting critical over the art, and some people give like healthcare, like really that happened to you, and explain how that happened to you. Like there were some places where the storytelling needed to be clearer, and other places where the artwork needed to be more clear in the storytelling. So people influences.
Are you whirling?
I am so whirling. I am going to be in the middle of Art Whirl. I'm at the Solar Arts building, and you probably know it as ND Brewery, but it's actually the Solar Arts building, and we're on the 2nd floor, and it's supposed to be in the 80s on Saturday, and we have central air, so y'all should come visit. There's art too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So are you gonna be teaching anytime do you have anything on the calendar, teaching wise?
Book tour. Yeah, just book tour, that's all. I'm trying to get through May, so one day at a time, and then, I'm gonna put the feelers out there soon, but I'm just trying to remember to eat meals and get through May, mental health is really important to me, and I gotta do all the things to take care of me, and so this has been a really busy, wonderful, good stress time in my life. So, and good stress is stress, but I'm having a blast, and I am just having a blast. But thank you. I am really loving this, and it's really good to get all the feedback from people, and being able to get just advocate for mental health and services and stuff is really important to me. So but yes, I'm whirling. I'm traveling a little bit more, and then last stop is Suvac on the 31st, and then June I sleep.
With the critters.
And on the 6th month, she rested.
So, should we open it up?
Let's open the questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
Is there a follow-up?
Follow-up book. I am constantly drawing, Amy. I'm constantly drawing. I'm creating. Fox is alive and well. I will keep you posted. Sign up for my email list, follow me on Instagram.
That sounds
Christy, what's your Instagram handle?
What's your Instagram handle?
Christi Furnas.
Spell it.
Oh my gosh.
Spell it?
Yeah,
Alright,
because everybody
no,
spells
no,
it
no, no, how to
differently.
spell it. Oh yeah, Christi, that's right, everybody spells it differently each time.
Buy the
Christi
book and you'll
Furnas.
have her name.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
That's no spaces, no underslashes, just Christi Furnas, all one word. So, Instagram, magical tool of communication. Yes.
You've been in this process, I've known you a long time, and you've been in this process for a long time. So what was it like bringing your work initially to a publisher, getting feedback, and when did you know it was gonna go? Like it was gonna become a book?
I'm still not sure. I'm still not clear on that. Yeah, so it was a long process. I got, dude, there's something about being published. Like I put out the mini comics, right? But I just had the longing to be published, you know? And so I had paid for feedback, because I got a lot of feedback from friends and artists, like I said. And it was a long process, and I thought I had something solid. I got a couple of folks that I paid for to review my work, and one of the feedback was, you make, what was it? It was, you do a good job at creating a horrific world. And I'm like, my world is horrific. Okay. So, and then another person that gave me feedback was, next book drop. I know you already created this, but next book, put pupils in their eyes. Don't. And I'm like, why? Like, because it's more expressive. I guess your line work is okay, but I mean, like, it's more expressive. I'm like, okay. So I'm not putting pupils in the eyes, but but I realized that someone was talking to me, because I'm a storyteller, but I've never written a book. I haven't written a story, and so story arc thing was kind of new to me. And I had that first mini comic, I had the suicide attempt in there right away, because I'm like, this is the first story I know. And so I had it out there, and I had it as a first chapter. And somebody was like, why don't we get to know Fox before we try to attempt suicide, you know? And I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. You know? So I switched it up, I redrew, because I started this process in my first sketches were in 2015, and it was up until like a few years ago, I was like, thought I was done, but I was looking, and like the first few chapters, is there the thing where the drawing, but no, the early drawings, like, and that's the other painting I did.
Another painting.
Yeah, thank you. That's Palmer at Little T's. Did you minimize it, Marcia? Okay. It's like,
Sorry.
that's okay. No, that's fine. That's right. Just minimize that one. Do a yellow and a yellow. Yeah, you minimized it. So up there, it's like number 3 JPEG or something. Yeah. So as you can see, my style changed a little bit. Look at that tail on Fox, and Fox has fingers. I omitted the fingers really quickly because I'm like, these are distracting. And the therapist looks a little different, although she is still wearing Birkenstocks with socks in the first draft.
90s shout out. That was me.
So I realized that not every chapter looked like the same book. So I redrew all 240 pages. All of my work is ink on paper, y'all. I don't. The only digital work was the cover, and Street Noise edited a little bit digitally, but it was mostly like typos on my handwriting, and so I redrew the whole thing, get to know Fox, learned who these other characters are, then go into stuff, and when I redrew it, it was pretty solid, and when Liz at Street Noise got a hold of it, she said she called it polished, and I was like, that's polished. So yeah.
I have a question that relates kind of to what you were just saying about how you needed to start in a different place. And I have known you throughout this journey, and for the after of the journey. So I was kind of curious about how you decided what felt like the right end. Like what felt like the way to close this part.
Right, because the end is a long time ago in my life. So it was a next chapter, right? It was the end of the book is kind of abruptly next chapter, but it was a next chapter. I won't tell you the ending, but yeah, it was like I would have kept going, I would have just kept drawing and drawing and drawing, but it's like a whole different story, and that's why I ended it there. It's just because that started a whole nother shaboodle of things, and I had already gotten a couple hundred pages down, so I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm gonna hold back. So it's hard. I'm not like Pollock, where he compares knowing when a painting is done to like sex or whatever. I'm just like, ew, Pollock. So it just felt like if I were to keep going, it would have just kept going. So that's why I ended it there. But there's more stories. I got more mini comics and different things going on. Shoot offs. Yeah. Thank you for asking. Yes.
Do you have your mini comics like published somehow, or they're through your?
Yeah, I self-published it. Here, I'll show you. I knew there was a reason I brought it. Oh yeah. But I got a grant through ARC, and so I actually I got a grant through ARC. There's a cat on the back playing with a scribble. And this is 44 pages, but I had finished this and it was in the process of printing before I was officially like signed a contract with the publisher. So these happened at the same time, kind of. And so this was actually, printed before this was printed. So, but it was drawn after. So it's kind of a sequel in a way, I guess, but it's just about shopping for a therapist, called Therapy Shopping, and it's self-published. It's on my website, and at the Whirl, at Art Whirl in the Solar Arts Building on the second floor. Yeah, I have a few left. So the other mini comics that I've self-published sold out, not gonna print them again, so hold on to the ones you got. So, I'm lucky to have copies at this point. So, but I'm, like I said, I'm still drawing, and there'll be more out there, so, yeah. Yes,
Have you ever thought to do an animated film?
I have thought about it a lot. How to go about it is another thing. I learned how to create a book. I could learn how to do animation. Yeah. Old dog, new tricks. I'm on it. Yeah, I think Fox would animate well. Yeah. Everybody agrees. Okay, good.
What do you remember, like, first liking to draw? Like,
When I was really little, I in second grade, me and this guy Scott, something or other, whose mom used fabric softener, I remember. Scott, I know. He was funny though. He was hilarious. Anyway, we would not do schoolwork, and we made a zine called Weird World. Yep, in second grade we made a zine called, and Joe Cool was basically a guy with a bowler hat and feet, and that was it. And then there were monsters, and the plot of each story, it was how stick people met their demise. And I wish I had some of those. I don't even have anything from any time, but but I do remember that vividly. Weird World, but I didn't know how to spell weird, I-E-E-I, whatever, so it was usually wrong, but it's just consistent with my daily creating to this day. It was like, oh, that's spelled, okay. So, yeah, so that's the first, I remember, but I mean, when I got that set of 64 Crayola, I was like, finally, with the little sharpener, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, Christi. Hi. Say, did you know that one of your pieces is over in Suvac right now?
Yes, I do. So, that was from an open studio. It was not framed. We had to figure out how I was going to carry it out of there. I unpinned it from the wall. I just put this giant fox. I did a sumi ink and a brush real fast. Real fast. But that's what you do, is sumi ink and a brush. And I made this fox just to hang up on the wall to show people this is where Fox lives, in this building. And then Herman Milligan wanted to buy it. I'm like, it's not for sale. And he's like, name your price. I'm like, sold. So I was really surprised. We're in New York, we're eating oysters on the half shell, buck a shuck, it was just like, I was in heaven. I get this text from Suvac, what medium did you do this piece in? And its picture was in a frame, he framed it, and it's in the Suvac Collector's Show. So, yeah, I knew that was exciting, right? Yeah, thank you.
Nice. And I told Herman that you were doing this tonight.
Oh, awesome,
Yeah,
thank
so
you. Yeah, that's cool.
I just wanted to mention, so what's interesting to me, because I've read I haven't read this one yet, but I've read your other ones, and it seems to me that Fox is, he's having an experiences, and there's a lot of okay, or a lot of questions, and then you have this advice column. Fox
Right.
has an advice column, and he has a lot to say.
Yes, that's what happens in advice columns. And you gotta, so for those of you who don't know, there was this local publication, a happenings guide called The Dispatch, and Dispatch had me on as a contributor, and as Foxerson, Fox had an advice column. And so I would draw a scenario, I would draw a fox for a certain question, and then Fox would answer it. But it was written. It wasn't handwritten. It was typed, and so it was a little bit more wordy. And Fox got smart all of a sudden. And but yeah, it was kind of interesting. You know, over the time, I am a really passive person, but I really love the fact that I chose not to draw me in this situation. It kind of gives me a freedom, gives me distance. There, I am just able to stay in character when I'm drawing. And, but back when this was I would just let things happen. I'd be like, what else? And that's kind of how Fox stumbles through this book. And, and it's kind of a story about Fox finding their sea legs, it's kind of like, okay, I have to navigate this, and you kind of learn as you go that, yeah, nobody's taking care of me, I gotta like get my sea legs, so that's later on Fox is this advice column, smarty pants. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I just have, so there's two things I'm thinking about. One is how awesome it is to have things like that for people who can, it's such a, like, it almost lightens a person's load to find out that somebody else shares their path in similar ways with similar thread. I've had my experience in different ways with that, and it just is like, hey, maybe I too can navigate this. And also the laughter, whether it's dark or not, is always helpful. But now I want you to explain to me the human condition. So, in one small way. No, I am. I'm intelligent and I'm creative and I have ideas. But what is the difference between a person that just does and a person that spends their life only thinking about doing? I so admire that some people just have a drive with something, from the beginning, and they don't really have to decide, am I going to do this or not? It's just what they do.
Okay, that's hard. All right. No, it's good though. No, it's good. You're thinking about it. That's the first step. So, like I said, I just never stopped after the crayons and stuff. But I had a friend once tell me that I could do anything if I put my mind to it, and I took that to heart. So, being psychotic and having this vivid, wild imagination, you kind of start to test the limits of the brain, and you're like, I could probably do anything I would put my mind to it, right? And I have, if I put my mind to it, I have been able to do that. You haven't tried to fly or anything, but but the artist, the difference between a professional artist and someone that's thinking about creating something someday is discipline. That is the difference. It's just discipline, and it's like a sport. It's like a job, and if you have to get up and you have your things you have to do, and one of those is draw these pages, or they're never going to get drawn, right? I gave myself small goals. I said I'm going to get this draft of this chapter done. When I wrote the State Arts Board grant, I said I would have a first draft and a mini comic done, and I did a reading at Sioux Visual Arts Center with a mini comic. And that was my public component. And I got it done, and I exceeded my goals because I also talked to a group at McAllister. I was asked to talk about my process at McAllister. So I got, had proof of this for the state arts board, as I had evaluations, and the students at McAllister drew my characters on their evaluations, and they're like, I know it's the little frog operator and stuff. And I was just like, oh my god, these kids are so cute. And so yeah, it's really rewarding to to do it. It is really rewarding, even if if it's not out there, like you said, you do create for yourself. And I wouldn't write a book that I didn't want to do. If I was not having fun, you would see it in my work. So like I said, I did not draw me, I drew the fox, and because I didn't want to draw me, I wanted to draw the fox. The tail was fun. And so, but I mean, it is hard work. Your hand cramps up, and you kind of get a stiff neck, and you gotta get the Draw Stronger book by Friota, and do the stretches. But it's a discipline. That's the difference between professional art and just hobbyist is the discipline in it, because you gotta get up every day as an artist and define yourself as an artist and go to work as an artist.
Any other questions, comments, thoughts? All right, well, thank you.
I'm not dropping the mic.
No, you're good.
We will head up to the front and Christi will meet with her autographs and other details.
Were you okay? Yeah. I didn't realize that was on. Wandering. Yeah. Yeah, the headlights are strobing a little bit. I can see that. Yeah. I had a concussion, so this is off. Yeah.
Yeah. You better have it ready, right?
No. These are prisms. They're not. Yes. Yeah. All right, like called races for the eyes.
Oh, I love that. That's a good word. Yeah. Support.
Yeah, no, that works.
To not look this way because it's the.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
Oh, she's coming back fast when I was having.
I was worried if she sprinted so fast. She just started smoking again after her brother died, so she's not doing it. She had almost stopped. Yeah.
I'm glad it's
She apologized about the other day. I was like, I'm all right. Yeah, of course. Gonna.
Are you doing right?
Oh, so far I'm making it.
Good.
I'm making it.
Good. Do you know police?
Oh, we do. We do.
Good.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, but yeah.
In real life.
In real life. Yeah.